Hello, brains. I actually forgot to record an intro for the vlog that you're about to see, and instead of beating myself up about it, I am accepting that it didn't happen and recording it now. So there's a concept that I love called growth mindset that I'm kind of obsessed with right now. So I talked to some ADHD experts and sat down and recorded some thoughts. Before I jump into this, I want to talk quickly about our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online counseling platform that connects you with a licensed therapist that matches your individual needs. You can communicate through text and, if you want, video. I used BetterHelp a few years ago and I really liked the anonymity of it. I found it easier to talk openly about difficult topics through text than I had during in-person therapy appointments in the past, especially since I have anxiety issues as well. And I think knowing it was easy to change therapists if I needed to made it easier to be honest about how I was doing and what I needed from my therapist instead of trying to people please. It was great for me to get that practice because when I was ready to go back to in-person therapy, I was already used to talking about my real experiences and feelings with a therapist, so it wasn't as scary. With BetterHelp, you can start communicating with someone within 48 hours of signing up, and you can log in whenever you want to send a message to your counselor, so you can work on your personal growth when it works for you. It's not a crisis line, by the way, it is actual therapy, but if you're currently in crisis and need help, I've linked to some crisis lines in the description below. If you want to learn more about BetterHelp, go to betterhelp.com/ADHDhowto and complete the questionnaire so that they can better understand where you're at and match you with the right therapist. And like with any service that helps you find a therapist, look up the therapist and make sure they're a good fit for you. In the meantime, back to the vlog. So there's this really popular concept right now called growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And the difference is basically fixed mindset is this is the way that I am and that's just the way that I am and that's not going to change. Versus a growth mindset is I can change, I can grow, I can improve, my effort matters. A lot of us tend to have a combination of growth and fixed mindset. Maybe there are some things where we think that we can grow and improve and other things where we do think we're kind of static. That's just how we are, that's how it is, and there's really not anything that we can do about it. But how do we practice self-acceptance without then essentially giving up on ourselves and saying, well, this is just something I suck at. Like, I'm just not good at this and I'm never gonna be good at this, and like, why try? We wanna take account of where we are and accept that that is where we are in terms of what our capability is right now. But we also wanna occasionally test those limits. Are those limits still where they used to be? Because maybe not. I guess a good example is like my house will always be messy. Like I am a messy person. I am really disorganized. When I walk into a room, like whatever I'm carrying is suddenly all over the room. Like I just kind of explode. But I do have the resources now that I could hire help. I can go into it with curiosity. Like maybe there's an app that can help me remember what to do when, and I can do some of it myself. Maybe I can hire help for the things that are too much for me right now. I can test that limit every once in a while. I can test it to see if maybe I have learned a few more strategies or I have gotten to the point where I can generate enough interest in this thing that I can pursue it. One of the things that I'm doing right now is with playing piano. I had a fixed mindset about this when I was in third grade and I quit piano lessons where like my hands are too small. I'm never gonna be good. Like I'm just gonna be bad at piano, so I might as well not even try. And that's really what it is. Like we don't wanna have that mindset of like, why even try? The reason we wanna keep trying is because our limits can change. We can grow past them to a certain extent and they can expand. Our limits can expand, but they can also contract. Like when I was going through grief because my mom passed, my ADHD symptoms were way worse. I was way more impaired. And so it can be helpful to test then too. Like not assume that I'm gonna be at the same level that I used to be at because the situation's changed. And I right now am dealing with grief on top of COVID, on top of ADHD, on top of I just moved to a new city. That's a lot for anybody to deal with. So my limits had changed. But now that my situation's changed, those limits may be changed as well. One of the things that I really want to let go of in terms of fixed mindset is the labels that I picked up of messy, flaky, unreliable, irresponsible. These are all fixed mindset labels, but they're labels that I did internalize and I want to start letting go of. I want to start being curious and testing, like, am I unreliable? Because I do have this belief about myself and I know that that comes from my ADHD challenges, but is it still true? I have found it incredibly valuable and validating over the last 5 years to understand that the things that I thought were just moral failings or me not being a good person somehow were actually ADHD impairments, measurable ADHD struggles. And having that acceptance was really, really powerful. But it's easy to live there. It's easy to think, okay, then this is just how I am and people just have to accept it. Just accept me for me and accept that I'm gonna be the kind of person who shows up late to coffee, and I'm gonna have a messy house, and I'm gonna, probably lose my job because I didn't turn things in on time or procrastinated or whatever it is. Because while we do want to accept where we're at, we don't necessarily want to accept that we have to stay there. It's not that that's wrong, but it can limit us in terms of what we want to accomplish in the world or what kind of life we want to build for ourselves. I would like to have a house that I can look around and not be visually overwhelmed with all of the stimuli that I'm getting. So I do want to test that. I do want to test that belief, that limiting belief that I've had about myself my whole life, that this is just how I am, that I'm just messy. I don't have to accept that that just means I will never be good at this or that I will never be able to do this thing. I think it's important to recognize that our effort matters. And I think by every once in a while testing if our limits are still where they used to be, we can keep ourselves from unnecessarily limiting ourselves. I guess that's it. Just I encourage you to accept where you're at, but also every once in a while, get curious about it. Am I still there? Or am I somewhere else now? If you want to learn more about growth mindset, I linked to some resources in the description below. I also would be really curious about your own experience with this because it is kind of tricky, right? And thank you to my brain advocates and all my Patreon brains for allowing me to test my limits and try new things, try new content that I wasn't capable of doing before, and maybe I am now. Like, subscribe, click all the things, and I will see you next video. Bye, brains.